Make money and keep running, baby.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from childhood in credits, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ. I still do it.
I'm Jared. Nailed it.
Wow. I'm even reading it, too. I'm like reading it.
I know. I told you, it's probably going to be another 100 episodes.
Yeah, the brain is, what a cool thing. What a cool thing.
What a cool, horrible thing.
Cool, cruel thing. Okay, so we're doing, this is it. We're our abridged full breakdown of Electric State 2025.
Yep.
Here we are. Just
like a week old, basically. A couple weeks old.
Do you want to give us a quick, or remind us what this one's about?
Sure do. So, an orphan teen hits the road with a mysterious robot to find her long-lost brother, teaming up with a smuggler and his wisecracking sidekick.
Star Wars.
Yep. It's still Force Awakens.
This movie, it felt like they grabbed like a standard like 3-act structure. Let's hit all these beats, and then they literally just did that. They mapped it all out like everything was very obvious. It felt like then they took the movie, they made it, and then brought it to Netflix. Netflix, yeah, but can you kind of like Netflix it up a bit? And they're like, yeah. Can you just like turn up the dumb on it, you know?
Just like Russo it up a bit.
Yeah, Russo up a bit, you know? And by the way, here's $1 gajillion.
Yep, and here's so much money.
Do you remember what our prognostications were?
Other than the Wizard of Oz bit, not a lot. Because you were kind of right on that one.
yeah. And I think the song in the trailer was "Over the Rainbow" there, or whatever it was. Yeah,
it does seem like it.
Yeah. It's funny how much Disney they ties here with this.
Which Wizard of Oz is still not Disney, but
it's not Disney. But I was like, basically the entire Marvel crew is in this movie.
True. Yep, that is true. And they reference it.
Yeah, and they reference it. Yep, sure.
They don't let you forget.
Nope. Don't get upset. So it felt very. I don't know. It just felt like, okay, we go, and then the next scene, and then the next scene, and we've hit all the major points, and people are crying, and then okay, we're done. Battle. Okay.
Very linear. Yeah.
Yes.
Like it was like made to be a kids movie, but also like sometimes a little too grim to be a kids movie, but
yeah. So I didn't read the art book between the trailer. I didn't read it. So
what? I'm so surprised.
So I just didn't have time. But I like reading all the comments and like YouTube and everywhere else. Like everyone's basically like, yeah, they just Netflix this book. Like it's much more grimmer, like, and commentary and being connected in. It's like, I guess it's really kind of dark and deep and
yep.
Yeah,
this is relatively shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listeners, for our non-Swedish listeners, our book is graphic novel.
Yeah. Right.
In Sweden.
I was like, what the hell's an art book? You mean graphic novel?
Yeah. Art book implies to me it's like the thing that you use to like inspire them. Like it's like almost like a storyboard.
I think
art book. Yeah.
Art book, lookbook. Yeah, it's the same. You have all the different things in there. Like, hey, this is what we want to feel, the vibe, and color. Yeah.
Nope. Graphic novel.
So, but if you do want to see this author's work done, I think correctly, you watch Tales from the Loop, and I think I mentioned that in the trailer trash.
I have not yet, but
it's on Amazon, and that I think captures more of like his vibe and feel and
like artwork. Depressing.
Yeah.
Got it.
I like to call it touching.
Right. Yeah, I like to call it Northern European.
Yeah. 2025. I'm trying to stay away from negative words, you know?
Right.
It's not depressing. It's touching.
Yeah. It's like it's dark and cold there for, most of the year.
Very reflective of the surroundings. All right, so we did okay on our prognostications. We'll just give ourselves A minuses.
So generous this morning. Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, why not?
You want some quick info here? I'm going to give it to you.
Please. Yeah.
Okay, so this is directed by the Russo bros, Anthony Joe. Did you see Joe Russo? His little cameo? He was in.
No.
He was.
I don't know what he looks like.
Yeah. He was one of the news guys in the beginning and the end.
Oh, I don't know what anyone looks like. So, to be fair,
I know that's fair. To be fair,
wait a second.
Yeah,
I like how Google his job title on Google when you search Joe Russo.
Yeah,
former actor.
Yeah, he's still acting. That's great.
Wicked funny. That's like if you search the overview, it's like, an American filmmaker and producer, which is definitely, I think, what he's more well known for.
Yeah, yeah.
Former actor.
Nailed it, AI.
Yeah, that's funny.
Good work.
Yeah, no,
Gemini.
he looks super generic. I would never pick him out of a crowd.
Yeah, he was awesome. Captain America, the Winter Soldier one, when you had
oh, really?
What? Not the Winter Soldier. It was maybe it was
like a Nazi
War or Endgame. I don't know. I forget. It was one of those damn Marvel movies that he made.
Yeah.
And he was like part of the support group with Captain America whenever it got snapped. He's in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So anyways, all right, enough about him. So the Russo bros, you'd think would be, I mean, direction wise, it looked beautiful. It was shot, but they know where to put a camera and everything.
Yeah, and overall, I kind of liked it. That was one of our expectations too. But I didn't hate it. It was fine.
It's definitely not the worst movie we've seen.
Not by a long shot, no.
But I think, all right. Well, anyways, we'll get to it because then the Rotten Tomato scores seem very crazy then because the audience score is through the roof. But maybe the audience isn't the people who read the book. It's the Marvel fans and
Totally. Yep.
All right. So who do we have to blame for this? Because you got to point the finger at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the screenwriters.
It's always the screenwriter.
So Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, and then Simon Stollenhag was the author of the lookbook, art book. So these are Marvel bros. Like these four, the Russo bros and these two guys have done all of the big Marvel movies. Like they did Winter Soldier, right? The Infinity War, Endgame. Like they did all those big hits. Like good movies, right?
Yeah.
Very good,
Very you can tell who made them movies though.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is fine because like you said, they're enjoyable, they're fun, they're pretty linear, they're not doing anything really surprising.
No.
They always stray from the source material.
Yeah.
like that's kind of their thing.
Yeah, it's kind of their shtick.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they did a good job there, and it's kind of funny. I can't believe I'm about to do this, but it was like, was Disney somehow better than Netflix in giving their notes? Disney was like,
maybe.
Yeah, Netflix just doesn't know what they're doing. I don't know.
I mean, Netflix doesn't know what they're doing. They turn 9 billion profit every year, so
they do know what they're doing.
They're doing just fine.
They just know how to tell stories really well. That's all. Which is their whole thing.
Yeah. People always wonder, they're like, how do they spend so much money, which we'll get to in a minute, on movies like this? But you're like, because they make 9 billion in profit. The extra after they spent all the stupid money.
Yeah.
They're doing just fine.
So ridiculous. I guess that's what happens when you're a distributor. You decide to get in the content game. You're like, yeah, we can do this.
It's in the budget.
Just stream. Just focus on that.
Stream. Yeah.
So those guys are there. So who's in this movie? Everyone is in this movie.
Many people.
I think you and I were in this movie. We didn't get credit, but we were in it too. Yeah. So
I was writing out the cast and I kept forgetting someone and going back and be like, oh, right.
Yeah. And I think there's even more hidden in there that are really, really random. It's wait, he's in here, but I'll go through the main people. Right. So we got Millie Bobby Brown. She plays Michelle, our hero here. Chris Pratt.
They do have last names, we could have, but because sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But in this case, they're all very well developed characters with last names.
And then Pratt. He plays Keats, our smuggler, our Han Solo character. Huy Quan. Nailed it. And plays Dr. Amherst. Basically, I think he's going to be our he's the Wizard of Oz, basically, right?
More or less.
Or do you think it's more Skate Tucci's character?
I think it's more the boy. I think the boy is the wizard.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, all right. A little this, a little that.
Yeah, we'll argue about it later.
Anyways, he plays Dr. Amherst. Woody Harrelson is Mr. Peanut. Woody Norman plays Michelle's brother there, Christopher.
Yeah, the rare movie with two Woodies.
I know, right? Yeah. Woody.
Uncommon.
Yeah, the double Woody. Okay. Giancarlo Esposito plays Marshall. Stanley Tucci, the Tucci, plays Ethan Skate, our Steve Jobs tech guy who just wants to save his mommy's boy.
Our big bad.
Alan Tudyk, right? Is that right?
Tudyk, yeah.
Tudyk. Kid Cosmo.
Didn't recognize his voice either, but...
No, I didn't either.
The man who voices everyone.
Voice of the 90s and news, Kurt Loder. Let's go. I thought he was dead. He's not.
Nope.
You know who else isn't dead?
No, who else isn't dead? Oh boy.
John Lithgow.
True,
Right,
true.
right, yeah.
Allegedly. I haven't seen him in person. Have you?
No, I haven't. So if I don't see in peace in person and you're dead,
Kinda.
that's the logic.
Wait,
So-
am I dead?
Oh no,
I only see you on the computer.
we're both dead. Oh no. Martin Kleba and Anthony Mackie play Herman.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I put both because Martin Kleba did all the motion capture, and for some reason it's like all of like the expressions, like everything about the character that made it the character except for the voice. And Anthony Mackie did the voice.
Huh. Okay.
And I was like, interesting. Yeah.
Okay. The random Jason Alexander, George popping up there to play Ted. At first, I didn't recognize him, and then when he took the helmet, I was like, "What? What are you doing in
He
here?"
was doing a classic Costanza in this one.
Total Costanza. Rob Gronkowski, yes, that Rob Gronkowski of Patriots fame,
Yeah. Unbelievable.
of really annoying commercials on TV fame,
Yep.
plays Blitz. I don't even know who that.
One of the robots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably.
But it's just like, why? Like he's not in.
No,
I don't. Can he read?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I love Gronk, but he's a big dummy.
It was just, is it Lucretia? What is that? Lucretia?
Yep.
Yeah, Lucretia
Yep.
Newkirk plays robot vendor wife. Nice. Nice.
What a title.
I love it. Okay, numbers. We don't have any money making numbers other than what we know Netflix makes based on their stock price and everything else. But
Yep.
this movie cost $320 million.
Which is insanity. Actual insanity.
Like, that is so much money.
On what?
Could have taken that money and made like 5 or 6 like really good movies, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the CGI was good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was good quality, but like,
Right.
what?
What? What? Like, how much did DeMarcus and McFeely here make on this one? Like, I know you get their
How much did Stahlenberg make on the film rights? I wonder. I hope.
Nike.
I bet they screwed him. I bet they gave him like $1 million, and we're like, here you go.
Probably. Yeah. And the Swedish, what do they use euros over there? Or are they using something else?
Yeah, yeah.
Swedish bucks.
Sweet bucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. It's like $5. So
We're gonna pay you an IKEA gift card. Is that okay?
into like 100, like 1 million Swedish meatballs. We know you love these. No, we don't. They're just meatballs. Rotten Tomatoes. This went down. When we first picked this movie, it was at 18%. It's at 15% critics.
It gets a little worse every day.
Yeah. That's I'm curious as to like what are they saying about, like, what are they actually, you know what I mean? Like,
I didn't read any of the quotes. Yeah, probably like, boy, this one stunk. But like, yeah, it's not that bad. Like, 15% is pretty low. Like, we've done, I think, worse movies that were rated higher.
yes. Yeah,
sure.
like some of them, The Atlantic, we got The lecture is so transparently eager to satisfy as many demographics of viewers as possible. It proves its own message that a world dependent on business. Okay, that's too long. Pizza and Russo Brothers movies are so predetermined they don't bear lingering on. But it actually might be the first time they've opted to skip over them altogether. Wow, it looks phenomenal. The quality of special effects. Yeah, so yeah. But the audience gave it 71%, but that can't be the people who are fans of the book or have read the book.
No, they're definitely
everyone that has is like, they seem very like annoyed and kind of upset by it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like 46-year-old dad who's watching this with his 10-year-old.
Yeah,
being like, you know what, that was a fun movie.
That was fun. Yeah.
That was all right. I'm gonna go cut the grass.
Yeah, while they're on their phone and like,
yeah, exactly.
All right, kid, watch the movie. I know Chris Pratt. He's funny.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. Thumbs up.
They got Costanza from Seinfeld. In this.
I know him. He was on a show, son, that I used to watch. Costanza. Yeah, so that's it. That's all the numbers. That's all I have for you. So
Yeah. Well, thank you.
do you want to be fast facted?
Fact me, Daddy.
Alrighty. The mall uses a robot safe haven and is North DeKalb. Mall in North Decatur. Whoa, that's a lot of North.
That's a lot of Norths and D words.
That's a lot of Norths. I was like, what? DeKalb in Decatur.
Decatur.
Jesus, suburb.
A suburb.
It's a suburb of Atlanta. The North DeKalb, Decatur kind of threw me for a tongue twister. Okay.
Yeah, Georgia listeners, get at us.
Yeah, I met someone from Atlanta last night at the bar, and
no kidding.
Yeah,
small world.
Interesting character, I would say.
Oh.
Yeah. We had do you want to hear a little bit about it? Because it was kind of fun.
Sure.
More interesting than the second act of this movie.
Give me the highlights.
So he was in the bar sitting next to some people I know, and then I was talking to a couple of people off to the side, and he's just like staring at me and like two friends of mine, just like staring at us. And he looks like kind of like he's got like a hipster vibe kind of to him, little mustache,
like a classic pervert. Yeah.
Glasses, and he had, kind of like a little bit mullet thing going on, and he's just like leaning into trying to interject and get into the conversation.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and he was just like, yeah, I'm just I'm not from around here. I just moved up here, and I'm just trying to figure out the social interactions, And I said,
not like this.
That's exactly what he said. I was like, this ain't how you do it.
What did he say to that?
He's 23, and he said he's from Atlanta, Georgia, and he just moved up here. Yeah, and I guess then he was talking to people. He's into fencing and apparently fencing and ketamine.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was like, what is happening right now?
Send him to DC.
Long story short, he and I ended up having a chat because I had to take a bullet for everyone, because everyone was just like, he was just walking around to everyone at the bar and just being like, kind of just hovering over people, interrupting like their conversation.
Friend?
Yeah, friend. Exactly. Friends. Like, I thought he was a robot. Like, get out of here, robot. But we had a good conversation about how to be cool. And he was pretty sure that he was cool. And he said, I want to be cool. And I said, well, that's the thing. You don't want to be cool. You just are. And
people who are cool don't say that.
Right. There is no try. There's only do. And I started quoting Star Wars movies to him.
You're like, excuse me, I'm in my 40s.
I'm in my 40s.
Bye.
Yeah, self-proclaimed fan of 80s stuff. And then we talked about that, and then we talked about I asked him how he got here, how did he get to Boston, or why did he come to Boston? And I said, don't say by plane. And then he listed,
I should have been there with you.
Oh, it would have been great. And then he listed off like just a bunch of random things in Boston that aren't great. He's like, oh, the public transportation, the Green Line. I'm like, what? Did you just Google Boston and just put this list together? So
man.
Then he's like,
traffic.
Yeah. He said, oh, someone asked me kind of similar question the other day, like, why did I come here? And he's like, oh, for Felipe's. I'm like, in Harvard Square? This is exactly how the conversation went. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And he's like, yeah. And then they asked me to name 10 things above it. And I was like, okay, go for it. And he's like, I just named 7. I'm like, what? What is this conversation?
What?
Yeah. I was like,
this is how conversations work.
I was like, this is how I gotta go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Name 8 things.
Yeah. Okay.
Lamp.
Yeah.
Talk to a human person.
Yeah. And I made a joke that apparently someone had mentioned before I showed up. He was like, yeah, he went over to these 2 women and he said something to them and they just immediately left. And I was like, were they planning on leaving? No. And they're like, no, their drinks were like half full and they just got up and left. And I was like joking. God. And so jokingly, I was like, I mean, what could you possibly say to 2 people to make them leave like that? And I was like, it's either got to be like threesome or I want to wear your skin, or, like, yeah, you can smell your feet from here. Like, what?
The only logical options. Yeah.
Right. Come to find out, there was a couple at the end of the bar. He asked if they wanted to be in a threesome with him.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was like, dude, what is happening right now?
Oh no. Okay. So he was just throwing anything at the wall to see what sticks.
I mean, I was saying it's just a numbers game at that point, right? Some couples can be like, sure, why not?
Sure. I guess good on that guy for trying to make friends, like put himself out there.
We had that conversation too. The balancing of, awkwardness and
yeah,
going out there. And I said, yeah, you just hang out. Just hang out.
Yeah. Like Somebody will loop you in if you look cool. Just be cool.
Yeah, just be. That's what I said. I was like, just be cool. Don't want to be cool. Just be cool. He's like, well, I think I am. I'm like, I don't think that's checking out right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oof.
So, anyways,
not the right bar.
No. Yeah. All right. Yeah, cool guys get the threesome when they ask a couple. Also, power move for you to ask two people. Usually, it's if two people got to ask you to be. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely something.
I think there's etiquette around that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are down in Georgia, but
that's not how it works up here. He got a nice version of Boston, though. He didn't. Like everyone was like, I kind of wish he was like in Southie asking people this shit.
I mean, it might have gone better.
Someone would have told him to shut up and get out of there.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, anyways, that was that. Anyways, so Leonard George, fast fact here. Little side story. So, the North Dakota Mall in North Decatur, which is a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, opened in 1965 and closed in 2020 before being demolished in mid-2024. The mall had previously been used in episodes of Loki, Cobra Kai, as well as the Fear Street trilogy and feature films Civil War, The Mule, and Zombieland Double Tap, all of which I've seen.
Famous mall.
Okay. Yeah, you need a mall. Go down to Atlanta.
No, well, don't, because it's demolished, remember?
Oh, right.
Was a famous mall.
was the key word there. Got it. November 4th, 2022, film production was temporarily paused after a crew member working on the film died in a car crash off set. Why would you put that in here?
Because someone died for this movie, dude.
What?
Not on set, but someone died in the making of this movie.
Wow.
Just let that sit with you.
Yeah.
That's why I put it there.
Wow.
I put it early so that way we could get to
okay, get that one. Okay. All right,
R.I.P. that guy.
R.I.P. that person. We don't know. If
right? Some production person. Yep.
Okay.
Horrible. But imagine that. Imagine this is like your the thing that's like, well, Russ was a lead grip on.
Yeah, he brought the best tape.
The Electric State. Boy, that movie costs a lot of money.
Yeah. Those are your bookend notes about this movie.
Money and lives.
Oh my god! Imagine that though, and then this is the movie that comes out, and you're like, ouch. Michelle Yeoh was originally cast, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. The role was reworked, and her former co-star Huy Quan took over. All right.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
I was like, wait to just rewrite that. And I wonder in the art book, is the character?
Oh, is the character a woman?
Like which character is more like it? Yeah.
Huh. Whenever a drone's heads-up display is shown, the sound effect is the same as the Terminator's heads-up display from the Terminator franchise. Oh, that's a fun one.
Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah. Okay. All right. When Keats goes into Greaser's Diner to try and order something to eat, the specials board suggests customers to have a bite of pie, PI, for $3.14 and 159.265,359 fractions of a penny.
Yeah,
that's good. That's kind of fun. That's fun. Okay. Russo Brothers first acquired the rights to Simon Stålenhag's graphic novel art book, for those Swedish listeners, in 2017, a year before its publication. And Andy Muschietti, who was set to direct, he did all the It reboot movies there.
Oh, okay. Nice. Good remembering.
Yeah. Universal won the distribution rights in 2020 after a heated bidding war, and Muschietti had to step down due to his preoccupation with The Flash. That's right, 2023. Netflix then picked up the film in 2022, and shooting finally began that year. Oof.
Anything that's going to make it's going to take 5 or 6 years to make like that, you're like, is it worth it? Like somebody had to along the way be like, boy, we're spending a lot on this one.
Right?
It's getting passed around a bit. Maybe we should just stop.
Yeah. I hope my book goes into a bidding war. I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
In a perfect world.
Making it on iPhone. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
This is the 16th film in history to cost $300 million or more. It's the first one that is not part of a previously established franchise. Wow.
Isn't that cool?
that is a fast fact. That is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The rest of the fact included the list, which I was like, we're not reading that, but
no. 16th film in history. Wow.
Yeah. Like outrageously expensive.
Yeah. Wow. And you think about all the, is that adjusted for inflation? It's got to be.
I would. Right? Well, I don't think anyone spent $300 million on a movie since like the last 10, 15 years. So.
I guess that's true.
Maybe Titanic. I don't know if Titanic was on there. No, because that's not previously said or whatever. And that was relatively cheap, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know for what it is.
Waterworld, 200 million, right?
Yeah. Jesus. But not 300 million.
Not 300. Wow. The quarry. I had a problem with that one last time. Quarry.
Yeah, like Corey Feldman.
Quarry. He's going on tour again, right?
I think so.
Just stop. Inhabited by Chris Pratt's character Keats, was also used in Stranger Things season 1. Look at that.
Kind of fun.
It's fun.
Millie's like, I know my way around this quarry.
I got a place. It contains a reference to Arrested Development, advertising Barry Zuckerkorn, consistent with many other Russo brothers features. That's funny because I saw the sign and I was
catch that? I was
yeah.
I heard Barry Zuckerkorn. He's very good.
Yeah. Judging from photos taken while filming on location, this will be the first Russo brothers film since You, Me, and Dupree in 2006 to be shot on 35mm film. What? Who did this?
Whoever wrote that trivia was like, wow, you're really passionate about this.
Yeah. And they immediately died in a car accident offset. Too soon. Despite its large robot cast, the Electric State used no actual animatronics or puppets. Every robot is CGI.
Isn't that crazy?
Co-director Joe Russo explained the choice was made because animatronics supposedly would have cost us 5 times as much. The claim that raises eyebrows given this film's staggering $320 million budget. Like what?
Can you imagine the balls of saying that?
Like what?
Yeah, if we had like 1 or 2 real animatronic robots, this would have been a $1 billion movie. What?
This movie feels like they just got a blank check from Netflix and they just hired all their buddies from their Disney movies they've done, and they just have it down. They're like, all right, here you go. Jesus.
5 times as much. If they're like, yeah, we can't have any practical effects. That would be crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say to you. You're like, oh, can we get some video and stuff? I'm like, that will cost this production at least 5 times what it costs us right now.
Like, you know how many years it took to do that Saw scene that we did?
Jesus.
That was in production from 2017.
Yeah, from 2017. I think Netflix has the rights to it.
That's right. That's right.
That's it. That's all the fast facts you're gonna get. So
nice.
You wanna Hollywood pitch me?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay. Do it.
I think I'm ready. So obviously it's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom meets Scooby Doo.
I hope you have a reference to the ripping of a heart out of a robot. So
shit, do they do that?
Yeah. We didn't mention Jenny Slate's in this too. She plays the mail delivery. Yeah, she's voice and Brian Cox. He plays the batter up robot. Yeah. It's like what? No, there's that one scene where she like rips out like the power source. And it's like basically a heart of one of like the robots.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris Pratt's like, what do you need that for? Dobermans. Yep.
I totally forgot about that part. I mean, that was central to my pitch for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, both movies have short round.
Sure. Yes. Okay. All right.
No, but short round saving the day, right? Like at the end of the day here, it's definitely the doctor, Dr. Amherst, who's like not, I feel like given not that big of a role as far as screen time goes, but is like unquestionably the most important character.
Yeah.
Like without him, none of the movie would have happened. Even does like a cool sacrifice to like save the rest of the crew and like so they can complete their mission. Like it's, very short round-esque. Like
absolutely,
Temple of Doom wouldn't have gone as well as it did for Indy.
No,
without him,
how is he escaping the club in the beginning in the car? Right,
Impossible. Yeah. Speaking of,
and short round, Wake snaps him out of it. Snap out of it, Dr. Jones. Yep. He's slapping him. He's like, "It's all right, kid. It's all right, kid. I'm here." It's my best Harrison Ford I can do right now.
Just like he wakes that kid up out of a coma in this movie.
That's right.
Yeah, it's mostly slapping. They cut that part. But.
Yeah. Wake up, kid.
Yep. There's also related to that escape and most of Temple of Doom, like ridiculous action scenes that don't make any sense really, and you're like,
yeah,
it's cooler in Temple of Doom for sure,
definitely.
But in this one, like they do a lot of the same. Like, oh, okay, we're gonna like go do like ride around in a like little mine cart, and there's gonna be explosions and stuff falling on people, and like don't even get me started on the robot fight at the end. It's just it's very Russo.
Yeah. It's Endgame, which I think we also said, right? And we said it's just Endgame. Like let's just take that and replace everything with the
Exactly. So it's like, riding down the slopes of the Himalayas and then like river rafting through the rapids there. It's like it's ridiculous. Right?
Yep. Fly yes, land no. Sorry.
I mean, classic. Like a lot of Indiana Jones movies, they're also kind of saving the world a little bit. Just like in this movie where they're kind of saving the world a little bit, right? Like there's a lot on the line here.
Bringing peace to robots.
Could go wrong. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but that's probably good enough. So meets Scooby-Doo, the one, the first Freddie Prinze Jr. one.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the only one, right?
Yeah, the best Scooby-Doo movie, of course. So kind of like we were saying about the Wizard of Oz, like Scooby-Doo, same premise of like there's never really magic going on behind the scenes. Yeah. It's like it's some person that's like doing something that tricked somebody and is like wearing a funny costume or something. Just like in this one, they're like, oh, Stanley Tucci invented this world-changing technology, the Neurocaster, that helped them to win the robot war. No, it's just a little boy.
Right.
Like they're just using a little boy's brain to do this. Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Which I don't. It
doesn't make sense.
It still doesn't make any sense. I was like, this is the incoherent part I get that all the reviewers are saying.
You're like, yo, he's a math genius. But you're like, sure, but there's probably like 100 kids that have the same level of math ability.
Like,
or like Dr. Amherst. Like, why wouldn't you just use his brain?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous premise. Yeah. So it's like Scooby-Doo. You could say the robot human war here is kind of like the band breaking up. Like at the beginning of that Scooby-Doo movie. I don't know if you remember, they were like kind of lampooning the original Scooby-Doo cartoons and stuff, where they're like, Fred is like a glory hog kind of guy, and Daphne's like tired of being the damsel in distress. Like they're all kind of sick of doing their typecast roles, and so they're like, let's just split up. And Scrappy, the overlooked character, which in this case I think there's a bunch of them, but I guess Millie Bobby Brown's kind of the Scrappy-Doo of this movie.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Secretly the villain / hero. Like, I don't know.
She kills her brother. Spoilers.
She kills her brother, right? Look, that's pretty bad.
The deer killed him. She finished him off.
Yeah, it destroys this world-changing technology that is kind of cool. Like, I think Millie might have been the evil character all along, just like Scrappy-Doo was surprisingly in that Scooby-Doo movie.
Right.
And it's a similar one where it's like a lot of bad CGI. In this one, it was good CGI. Like in Scooby-Doo, it's not great. Yeah. But they're like, everything is CG for some reason. And don't do this. Like it's 2002. I get it. You're trying to, push the limits of whatever you can do at the time. But like, don't do that.
Don't do that. You don't need to. Just don't.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. And I think that's it. Good enough.
If I was Netflix, I would say, here's a check. Just do whatever you want with it.
Right? Yeah. Signed. We'll get short round.
Yeah. Signed, Mr. Netflix. Do you want to hear mine, or do you want to just skip it?
I do.
Okay. I can't.
No. Pitch me. You motherfucker.
Yes. I went with a little more on the nose here. I went with it's Ready Player One meets The Iron Giant. So.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Ready Player One. You got that kind of semi-future dystopian type of thing going on, right? Headsets escaping the real world. A lot of this is what this, basically the whole thing is. Get them, get outside, touch some grass, right?
Totally.
Big battle scene with characters and robots and stuff like that fighting. I think also in Ready Player One, if I remember correctly, they're just like unmanned like drone things, right? Aren't they all plugged in?
I
And
didn't
then
see
no, the book is read the book, but
Yeah. I heard the book was good.
yeah, the book's fun. So yeah, there's a big battle with like unmanned, obviously, things because they're in this virtual world and they're fighting. So just like this movie, it's kind of like the same movie pretty much. Ready Player One has like a lot of references to old 80s pop culture stuff.
Okay.
This movie's got a lot of references to all sorts of stuff, right? So
Classic Chris Pratt.
yeah, classic Chris Pratt. Yeah, meets the Iron Giant. Oh, and I love this. I love this when it all comes together because the Iron Giant is in Ready Player One as one of the things in the big battle they use. Yeah, because you can virtual world me in. So that's fun.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah, so meets the Iron Giant. That's a classic story of little human, big robot going on an adventure, trying to help each other in this dark times, and learning a lesson of how to, just live.
Robots is the friends we made along the way.
Pretty much those two movies. So that's all I'm going. That's it. Short and sweet.
Yeah. Wow. I like that.
Yeah. Me
Real
too.
crisp.
Yeah. I think I've said my part. Do you want to hear ITM Tron's pitch?
More than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it. Big swing.
So big swing. He went Mad Max Fury Road meets Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Not big swing, but it was good. That's
Kind of. Did he explain himself?
He did. He said a post-apocalyptic world with stunning visuals and high-tech remnants mixed with a nostalgic, character-driven adventure featuring a young protagonist.
Okay. Wow. So not that big of a swing.
No, not really. No, he
kept it pretty vague.
pretty vague. So
yeah, so both are movies.
Yeah. Thanks, ITM Tron. Yeah. And take you off life support.
Yeah, and Stranger Things isn't a movie. So.
Yeah. Yeah, grow up.
Job,
yeah, I said, give me a movie comparison. Jerk. AI. Stupid.
Classic.
You want to give your Jared summary and then we'll get into...
Do I ever? Yeah. Which, yeah, the summary is a little... You'll get there. Anyway. So in a dystopian future ravaged by war between humans and robots, humanity wins with the help of neurocaster technology.
Nice.
Which allows minds to be uploaded into drone bodies, technology secretly powered by the consciousness of a comatose child prodigy, Christopher. His sister Michelle, now a troubled teen, is approached by a sentient robot named Cosmo, who reveals that he's controlled by Christopher. As Michelle and her allies fight against the corrupt Center Corporation to rescue him, they uncover the truth behind Neurocaster's dark origins. And in the end, Michelle honors her brother's wish for freedom by disconnecting him / murdering him.
Murdering him. Yep.
Dismantling the drone network and exposing the truth, while Cosmo's survival at the very end hints that Christopher's mind may still endure, which I was like, you can't possibly think there's going to be a sequel.
No.
Right?
No.
Right?
No.
Is there a sequel to the art book? Do we know?
No, I don't think so.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they're going to try to like make it a sequel that actually follows the story of the art book.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's it. That's the movie pretty much. So,
yeah. Wild. I mostly liked how the description that I pulled here doesn't include any characters except Christopher and Michelle.
Yeah. They don't mention
kind of no one else matters that much, but
except for the doc, right?
Right, except for the doctor, who is actually the one responsible for Christopher doing anything interesting.
For anything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, now we get to burn through this movie and fix it in 45 minutes probably.
Let's go.
Which after editing, that listeners, for you, that'll probably be like
2 hours. How did you get more in here? We actually only recorded it for an hour. How'd you make this 2 hours?
Yeah, we just looped the beginning again.
No one listens after 10 minutes anyways.
That's right. That's not true.
That's not true. We have listeners from all over the world who listen forever.
Yeah. We appreciate you, listeners.
Yeah, we do.
Rarely joke at your expense.
Rarely. Rarely. So AGBO, that's where we're starting here, right? I'm in Netflix. AGBO is they're a production company.
Well,
it's the Russo
are we starting
brothers.
with that? Or are we starting with the Planters ad at the beginning? Did you? Because you don't have you have ad-free Netflix, right?
No, I Netflix, take that. I downgraded to the ad one.
Oh, okay. So you did get the Planters ad at the beginning that I was horrified by because
yeah. Now that's
so listeners, just very small amount of backstory for this. I almost watched this movie last weekend when it came out. I think I said that in the trailer trash. Thais and I turned it on and watched the first minute, which is a Planters ad for Planters Peanuts or whatever, and they like show the assembling of Mr. Peanut, and then they're like, look out for Mr. Peanut in the movie, and I was like, what? And me and Thais were like, well, turn this off.
That's so weird. That's weird. I didn't get that. I got when I started, I paused it and it went to a Planter. Now I remember it went to like a Planters Peanuts, like just static ad. But he was like holding the like a little miniature of where I paused the video at, and then I hit play and just went into the movie, and that was it.
Oh no, I got like 30 to 60 seconds of them. What? It's like a whole extra robot animation scene of like all these robots like building Mr. Peanut. Yeah. And then at the end it's like, look out for Mr. Peanut during the movie, buy nuts. Like, what?
Wow.
And then I was like, I'm upset. So anyway, I'm glad you didn't have to deal with that, but I did.
I guess I snuck past it. I just hit pause and it was just like a static thing, and I hit play and it went right to the opening credits.
Yeah, it was like very like uncanny too, like the way that like and then they kind of kept that throughout the rest of the movie, and that's why I was like, Mr. Peanut's a little creepy. I don't like it.
Yeah, he's scary.
Yeah, but it started early for me. So
okay, so that's fun. And then
AGBO and Netflix, which I was like, what's AGBO?
That's the Russo brothers production company. So
yeah, what does it stand for? Do we know?
I don't know. Doesn't say.
Perfect.
Probably names. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, probably like Alan,
Anthony, Joe,
Rose, Rose, other, then other. I think
that checks out. No, they did like the Gray Man, Extraction 1 and 2. That's the
okay.
And I think they're also AGBO's upcoming production include live action remake of Hercules. Get ready for that.
Oh no!
To be directed by Guy Ritchie. Gray Man 2. No. We're getting a sequel to that. We might get a sequel. Gray Man 2 was not good.
I didn't see it.
It's not. Don't. But again, it's just another Marvel. He got his. He got their boys. Chris. The Chris's there.
Oh right. Yeah. The other one.
Yeah, the other one. Evans. And then they're doing Doomsday and Secret Wars, Avengers movies. So.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
So there you go.
Cool. And then we start off basically like the trailer, 1990 before the war. They like talk about how the brother's a math genius. They do show him in a college class, kind of like a college prep class, right? Like
all of the scenes where there's dialogue is just exposition.
Yes, absolutely. And the dialogue sometimes is very funny, which we're going to highlight at various points. But.
Yes, but like this, like the opening is just like you get the normal world. You find out, okay, the brother's a super genius kid, whatever. Yeah. But then it's just you get this moment of them being close, and then there's a little bit of tension of like, oh, robots are bad, and everyone's kind of like on edge about them.
Yep, exactly. And like he doesn't want to go to college because then he's going to leave her, and like.
Yeah,
the thing that I don't get about this,
they got a weird dynamic going on there.
They do have a weird dynamic.
It's a little too close. It's a little Swedish close, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's how they do things over there. I don't know.
Maybe. I spend a little too much time on Pornhub, probably.
Another stepsister clip.
Classic prank. The thing that I don't get about the scene, tell me if you interpreted this the same way too. Yeah. They're talking about how he only is taking this test, this like college entry test, because mom and dad would have wanted him to. Yes. And I was like, so are mom and dad dead because he becomes comatose in the same car accident that they died in? And that's why I was like, what's the timeline here?
Yeah. Catch that. That's a good point though.
Yeah. I was a little bit confused where I was like, did you say mom and dad would have wanted you to, or mom and dad wanted you to? Like, that's probably the thing.
I think that's, mincing of words there is kind of really a big deal. So I don't know. It's
we'll slip of the tongue, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they're all already inside the Neuralink. Maybe this whole thing is still in there. That's like they're in the Matrix, man.
Is that how we fix it?
Yeah, part 2. Find out.
Yeah.
Jesus. But yeah, and then you get the title card, Electric State, and then it's just TV news clips with Kurt Loder there and everyone else talking about the robots. We get an interview with Tudyk from the trailer as we introduce our big bad villain guy who's just a corporate CEO guy. And then I love they even mention like all the robots are created by Disney. They go back and like way back in time of like I was like, what?
I was like, wait a second. What? They're like, yeah, Walt Disney invented robots and quickly they became part of the American workforce. And you're like, wait, what?
It's like such a curveball. I was like, what? I highly doubt that's in the book, but maybe it is. I don't know. But like so much exposition, just like telling us everything that's going on here. Like,
yeah. And Mr. Peanut is like the revolutionary, is like the George Washington of robots, I guess.
Like, what?
Incredible. I hate it so much.
Yeah. And then basically Tucci invented the Neuralink to so then this war kicks off, right?
And this is we brought up in Trailer Trash. We're like, shouldn't the humans immediately lose? And yes, they were losing badly for a while until the Tucci invented the Neurocaster, right?
Right. Which allowed people to basically jump into these drone bodies, avatars that they could use to go fight off these other, the other robots. So.
Yeah. And then they won the war in 2 weeks.
Get it done.
Classic.
And we get another title card, 1994, After the War.
Yeah, they also like weirdly, they're like, I kind of like the like very explicitly dating what's happening because they're like, and then Mr. Peanut signed a treaty with Bill Clinton, and you're like, wait, what? and then Kid Rock like did a performance, and you're like, why mention Kid Rock? Don't give Kid Rock any publicity. Yeah, like, bleep that out when you edit this. Like, no one should be talking about Kid Rock.
No, he's done. We're all done.
Say like Nirvana. I don't know, like anything.
Anyone else? 94. We don't need Kid.
Yeah.
So then we're in current time. Well, current time. We're in her current time here. We're sped up to the 1984 there, and she's basically at home, and we learn that she's got a. What is Ted? What is he? George Alexander there?
Foster dad.
Foster dad. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. He's fostering. Well, he's like very obviously, because he says it a bunch later, of like he fosters kids for money and does not actually care about the kids. Right. And like she's got like he like fits her with an ankle monitor for some reason to like make sure she doesn't leave and like monitor her whereabouts, which apparently is common in this bleak timeline also. Yeah,
and then there's more exposition just about the war zone, the exclusion area zone, extraction zone, or something like that. And he's got all this stuff. Basically, he's just like he's getting all this old merch stuff from this exclusion zone.
He's like looting the exclusion zone, basically.
And reselling this stuff because it's all like collectibles and shit like that. So.
Yep. And then we get a little bit about how she's never used a Neurocaster. She doesn't believe in the technology.
I wonder if that's going to come back later.
Yep.
I think that's the problem with this movie is that like there's no subtlety to it, and
it's very heavy-handed.
And it feels like even the commentary, but also like all the setups and payoffs. It's just like it definitely feels like Netflix came in and were like, here are our notes. Make this dumber.
But like again, it's a kids movie, but not really.
But not really.
Wait,
but we want people to like put it on the background like while they're vacuuming maybe, but not really.
Yeah, but not really. But we want them to pay attention too.
Yeah,
but not really.
But not really. I feel like Netflix is the Neuralink. It's the Neurocaster that everyone's like put on. Like it's this weird like meta moment we're having.
Like you'll never make me feel bad for the Russo bros, but like I feel a little bit bad for the Russo bros because like I'm sure they had to put up with some shit for this, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was reading an article how they the one thing they learned from this critical bomb of a movie was all the motion capture. That was it. All the stuff they learned from
because they'd never done motion capture for any of the Avengers movies.
I guess not, or maybe there's something new they're playing with. But it's like really, that's what you learned.
They actually turn Bruce Banner into a giant monster.
We decided to go real full method here. You didn't learn to push back on screenwriters, but like maybe we should make this story a little bit, I don't know, not so.
Nope, ship it.
What?
Nope, it's already in final production. Like we already handed the script to the actors. It's done now.
It's done. We don't even need you. Actually, AI did it for us. So yeah, she's too cool for school. She's too cool for the Neuralink. She's never done it. And then we get a bunch of exposition about her life. And I love how...
Are you laughing about the principal scene?
Yes. Because the principal's like, she's like, she's like, yeah, why don't you read the third page? And she flips over, she's like, oh, parents, and like zoom in on like deceased. And she's like, hey, a lot of kids lost their parents in the war. She's like, no.
She's like, no, hit a deer. Hit a deer. And I love how the principal's immediately like, well, neurotherapy can at least give you a few hours to forget. Just put on the Neurocaster. Just put it on. Just put it on.
Just put it on.
Try it. You like it.
Conform. Obey. Yeah, I just the deer thing, and I love how they do like a flash cut to like the deer just popping up in the headlights. And I was like, what is that?
She's
is
like, Dad!
Is this a comedy or what is happening right now?
I don't know.
And then we get a quick flashback of her on the beach with her brother, and he's like freaking out or something, and she's like calming him down. So they're just showing that like she's the big sister and she's helping him out and trying to like,
yeah,
he's not the most. He's like a guy from Atlanta on ketamine, He needs a little direction.
Yep. A lot of that going around these days.
So then obviously the thing that's going to be important later on. She's having nightmares about the deer accident.
Right.
Yep. Wonder if the deer lived.
No, she said no.
She did.
Yeah. She said something about like, my family and the deer died.
That's right.
The line was stupid, but she definitely confirmed the deer is also dead.
All right. Take one for the team, I guess.
Yeah. Millie Bobby Brown is the only survivor of this.
So oh my god! All right, so then she's having like nightmares about the accident, but then we get an important part of the fuzzy doctor. The doctor is fuzzy; she can't quite make out his face.
Yep,
that's gonna be important for the plot. That's what sends us off into the Wizard of Oz, into the Land of Oz.
That's right. Is there, something in the trash outside? Is it a raccoon pal?
No, it's a robot.
It's a robot. That's right.
And so it's a robot of Cosmo, like the comics, the cartoons they used to watch. Her and her brother used to watch as kids.
Remember, Kid Cosmo is your pal.
So we got like
the
a
only
lot
thing
of
he can say for some reason.
Yeah, so he's in this robot, that just does lines from the cartoon. It's a way. I hate it, but it's like a way of. It reminds me of like the Bumblebee situation.
Bumblebee, yep.
Right?
I was gonna say the same thing.
Same thing, right? Where it's like a way for the human character to ask a bunch of questions that the audience needs answers to, so they can move things along.
Yep, and a way for Alan Tudyk to get a paycheck.
Hey, I'm all for Alan getting a paycheck, but pretty much.
Love that guy. Alan Tudyk, you want to be in the podcast? Let us know.
It's been a while since you invited someone on.
I know.
No one's earned it.
You.
Yep. No one's earned it. So we meet so our adventure is about to kick off. So we meet the robot, and then George there, Costanza comes up, and there's like a little
he goes full Costanza on her.
Full Costanza on it. They have a little fight scene, and then they escape, and they're in the car, and they're off running, right?
Yep, that's right.
And then I guess we can not go totally quick through this, but then so the plan is that she finds in the back of his car, she finds the boxes of the stuff from the exclusion zone, right?
Right.
Because the robot, Christopher robot here, Brobot we'll call him.
Yeah.
He pointed, he's like, oh, we need to go here. This is where Christopher is. This is where I am. And it's inside the exclusion zone. And she's like, oh, maybe I can find a way in if I go track the P.O. box to the person that's going in there, and
something like that. Yeah,
that's the plan.
It's a very male-oriented movie. Not male as in sex, male as in delivering the mail.
Yes,
there's a lot of mail. Like, how much do you think USPS paid for a sponsorship of this?
Yeah. It's the 90s, They didn't have. They have smart robots, but not smartphones or GPS or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. They have crazy computers and robots, but they don't have email. So.
Nope. So she tracks down. They go on a little mini montage adventure to go find this PO box, and that's where they run into Chris Pratt's character Keats and Herm, who's his little robot buddy who helps him get out of situations, and they're pals. So,
yep, they do. We get a brief intro to our evil corporation here, Center. But it's like not super important. And then basically the other setup here is Dr. Glasses knows. There's a doctor, and he has glasses, and that's who the key to all of this is.
Yes, key is all this. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, the commentary on this of we're all drones in our phones and whatnot is a little heavy-handed, but
very heavy-handed. Yeah,
it's become like a drug where you see people on the side of the street with their Neurocasters on. Which how would they even? I guess every human got one or something. I don't know. I think in the book it gets into more the PTSD from the war with the robots and
that makes sense.
The veterans being on the Neurocasters just to get through the trauma that they went through. Like it's pretty bleak. It's pretty dark, which is way more, I think, of an interesting storyline than Millie Bobby Brown running around. My
takeaway. So there is like a brief scene right here, right? That's happening right now when they're in the alley and they find a homeless person and using a Neurocaster, and they're like, well, you can't. Some people you can't help, and I was like, I wonder if that guy's like a veteran
from the war or something.
From the war, yeah. Which
that's the backdrop. I think they play up a little bit more in the book. He is played up more in the books.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then we meet Keats, and they sneak in the back of his truck, and then we learn we've got Marshall here, Giancarlo Esposito's character. He's on the hunt. And he's tracking her down. We don't know quite yet why, but he's on her.
He's like some kind of robot bounty hunter now after the war. He was a successful general or something in the war, and then now he's just does stuff for money because
he's a bounty hunter for taking out deactivating robots. So
Yep.
And then we cut down to Keats's home base here in the mine.
Yep.
Right,
the edge of the exclusion zone here.
Yeah. So he's got all the stuff from the 90s on the shelves. So he's just
Billy Bass.
Fine. Yeah, Billy Bass.
We do love Billy Bass.
Yeah. And then there's just, I don't know, they meet there, and we run into...
We get like the whole intro to the friendship. So up until this point, robots are like very much the enemy, other than our kid Cosmo, Christopher robot.
Yep.
But we see the other side of human-robot relationships here with Herman and Keats, and like they depend on each other, and they're both like doing hijinks together. Very Han and Chewie.
Very.
Very exactly the same.
Yeah, pretty much. The same witty banter,
Yep, exactly. So. And then Millie Bobby Brown gets herself discovered. Michelle gets tips off that they're there. They have a whole standoff where they're like, I can help you. You can help me. We can help each other.
Let's help out. People helping people.
Yeah. People helping people. And they agree to work together when Marshall shows up.
Yeah, and just we have a little fight scene, basically. And then they all end up having to team up together. She hits the avatar robot of the Marshall there, and then they escape, and they're trapped inside the exclusion zone. Because it's a mine, and they go at the other side. So that's how he's sneaking stuff in. He's like a little contraband thing going on here. So
Yep. And now Keats is wanted for treason.
Yeah. Can't be helping those bots. So,
nope.
And then
they get in the VW van and get carried across the exclusion zone here.
Yeah, because the plan is to go to the center there and do what they got to do: storm the castle, right?
Yep, exactly.
But now we learn. This is when we cut to a shot of Ethan skate there, Tucci's character in. Looks like his childhood home or something with his mother, right? He's obviously using the Neuralink to have a reconnect with his mother. The whole thing is it's just him wanting to be with his mom, who is his abusive mother.
Yeah, like, what are you making, Mama? She's like, stuffed peppers, like always, and here's a cannoli. And he's like, thanks, Mom. I am Italian. My name is Tucci.
Cooking with the Tucci. So we get his motivation. So we got everyone's kind of their motivation. We got all the major characters in place right now, and it's just adventure time. And we start learning that we get a little hint at the engineers are like, hey, we got some problems with the Christopher's disappeared. His brain has left the building.
Yep. Our Neurocaster service has gone from utterly flawless to dog shit, I believe is what the Tooch says.
That's right. Dog shit.
Because Christopher ran away.
Yeah. He snuck through their firewall. His brain snuck through their firewall. Like, oh my God.
So stupid. And then he's like, my breakthrough broke out. And you're like, okay. Because the dialogue in this movie is like that.
Yeah.
Then I think we're gonna gloss over probably a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, so then there's like this weird. So Marshall, Giancarlo Esposito's character, he's already like hunting them because I think just because they're bots and he just needs to take these bots out. But then we find out that he sets up a meeting with Ethan,
Tucci, right?
Sorry, Tucci sets up a meeting with him and is like, hey, you're looking for them. I'm looking for them. Can you find them? But if you find them, I need that bot back alive, not destroyed.
Yep.
Very on the nose moment of them in the Neurocaster meeting and Tucci is standing on water on a lake.
Yeah. Because he's God. Which he definitely Which he also says
later on. Yeah. Father, son.
Yeah. Literally says later explicitly, I am God.
Yeah. It's like, can we?
Great. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you for beating me over the head with this.
Yeah. What the hell, man? So yeah, and that's kind of almost up to the halfway point, right? And then we're
almost,
just adventures, and we get some tears, we get some memories, we get to the mall, we regroup the team, we meet all the cute robots, cool, and Mr. Peanut, he's cool. We meet Brian Cox's ball player guy because Mr. Peanut's like, fine, I'll help you, and this all doesn't make any sense because Mr. Peanut's like, hey, we captured these 2 humans, and like, you think they're just gonna die, but no. They let him go and like, you got to get out of here because of the peace treaty. I can't do anything to you, but I don't want you here because you're bringing trouble here.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. And then he has like a change of heart. He's like, yeah, I'll help you. We got a postcard here from the doctor.
Yeah.
Sending a postcard here, give you an address to go find him.
Yep. In between here, there's like a lot of stupid dialogue of like, why would Center steal a little boy? That's nuts. No offense.
Yeah.
Because they're talking to
Mr. Peanut. And then Mr.
Peanut's got some gems too, like all humans are the same, selfish and lazy.
Yeah.
Like, good broad strokes, Mr.
Peanut. Yeah, this movie definitely just feels like the storytelling through like, oh, and then this happens, and then this happens, and it's like that's not what you want to do. You don't want to have that. You want to have the next thing happen because something else happened. But this is definitely just and then this. Oh, and then he happened to send a postcard to this place, and then they got to go do this, and it's like
And if the script wasn't exposition-y enough, there's also a narrator at various points.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
To really finish off the exposition.
Yeah. Why are you doing this? So frustrating. Yeah, I think I really wrote. I was like, oh, a letter? You're looking for a doctor? Oh yeah, you happen to deliver one here. I'm like, well, that's convenient.
How convenient.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yep.
So they adventure a little bit more, and then we're going to find the doc. That's our next mission. On our walk down the yellow brick road here, we're on to find the Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
And
a lot of USPS exposition about, well, there's 160 million addresses in the U.S. Of course I know what the address is.
Of course.
It says the mailbot.
Yeah.
Like, naturally. And then they get into a fight with some scab robots, and they're like, oh no, bad news. And then they have real good dialogue like, I'm not dying to Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Oh yeah. It starts playing because apparently that scares away all the scab robots.
Yep, that's right.
And
then more exposition.
We meet the doc.
We find the doctor.
The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, he gets us all caught up again, right? He explains the entire movie, explains what's going on.
Conveniently, also has trained another robot with 100,000 words with his voice, so that it can, so that way we can have him be in the rest of the movie because he's going to die in this scene.
So he doesn't really die because he's just like hard drived onto this old PC Windows XP.
Well, that's a totally different character, Russ.
Oh, right. Who just happens to have all the passcodes and all the ways to get into the building. Right. Literally the most important character in the entire movie.
Yeah, the more we talk about it, the more I don't like this movie.
Yeah. It's kind of frustrating. And he's like, oh, yeah, we're going to Seattle. And then it's only 1,000-ish miles away. We can make it up there.
Yeah.
And then, we get some intercut flashbacks in there. And,
he
also dropped in a backdoor for Christopher's mind right? There was something else.
He left a firewall hole open for him so that way he could maybe escape. And
small port in the exhaust port.
So dumb. And then
assembling the team, and then Marshall shows up, and him and Mr. Peanut fight.
Yeah, which like Mr. Peanut has some like really over the top cheese dialogue of like,
no kings here.
Yeah. Yeah, our people are free. Everything. This is a democracy. Robots are people too, and democracy people.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Good.
I don't care. Entertain me, Mr. Peanut.
Dance, robot, dance.
That's right.
So then they escape. Then we get back outside, and then we got a bunch of skatebots here. Skatebots. Ethan's Tuch bots. We'll call them Tuch drones.
Right. The Neurocaster drone army.
Yes, we were just manned by a bunch of people who were back in Seattle there. They all show up, and a little standoff, and this is where we lose Dr. Amherst there.
Yeah, so there's kind of two scenes happening at once now, because there's the standoff where we lose Dr. Amherst because Marshall kills him. Marshall doesn't kill him. Tucci kills him.
Yeah.
But separately, there's also a scene where the mall, Blue Sky Acres, is under attack as well, because they're doing a double strike here, where we're getting rid of Michelle and the problem characters, and also the robot outpost for freedom here.
Their safe haven there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're
right.
The doc
explicitly
dies.
The Marshal does not kill the
He
doctor.
does not, because that's his moment of like changing his character, and he gets a little redemption later on. But
Dr. Amherst is like, you only kill robots, not people, and he's like, that's right.
But Tuch comes in, blasts the doc across the room. He lands in. It wasn't the shot that killed him; it was the landing.
Yeah, exactly. But it felt very Indiana Jones.
Very Indiana Jones.
He gets impaled on like a metal pipe, basically, and they're like, "Well, that's the end for our hero."
Thank God we downloaded everything he knows into this robot that we've explained that he did that. Great. All right, so then the mall gets toasted. They come in, they steal Christopher Brobot there, right?
Yep.
So they got him. We're kind of like at all his lost moment here, if you're following the beats. And
yep.
Home is destroyed. Humans suck.
Yep.
What are you gonna do? Come up with a new plan, maybe.
Yep.
And
we even get our view back at Center HQ here, where they bring Christopher Kid Cosmo robot and back to his body, and they're like, "Welcome back, Christopher. Remember yourself?"
Yeah. And Marshall is there, Giancarlo Esposito's character, and he's like, "Oh, you had me chasing a boy, and like that's messed up." And you start seeing him, you're like, "Oh, he's gonna turn. He's not into this whole thing."
Yeah, and this is when he talks about being God.
And Marshall calls out Tuch there, and he's like, "I guess you want to save everyone, but at what cost? You're still killing people." And then a bunch of exposition. Basically, he's an egotistical maniac who just wants to have his mom back.
Yep, some good dialogue where like I could have used it as the opening quote of like, "Our world is a tire fire floating on an ocean of piss."
Pretty good.
Always has been.
Always has been.
And he's kind of explaining like, the reason for all of this is like, my mom was a monster, but in my brain, in electronics land, she's all hugs and stuffed peppers, baby.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So he's like, why can't everyone have peace like I have now? Like, I am God.
I am God. So, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
God complex or the mommy issues. Got it.
Yep.
And that happens. The team is regrouping back at the mall, and we're getting fired up. Keats is like, "Yeah, I'll help you, but let's go in the morning or something." We got some songs. We got Mr. Piano Taco playing some music.
Yep.
And thankfully PC is just the doctor.
Yep, exactly the same character.
He's gonna come along.
Yep. And then they do a convoy.
And then we learn what happens. Before that, we do learn that what happens is like, but if you go in and you unplug that, it's going to shut down the entire system. System failure. At first, I thought that meant all the robots were going to die. It just means the drones and the Narrowcasters. So,
yep. So really, not that bad.
No. Like, all right, let's go. Let's go do this. And she gives a little speech.
Chance to tear the whole sick system down.
That's right. She gives a big speech. Mr. Peanut's on board, and here we go.
Yeah. It's not that far to go for freedom.
Nope. Cost folks like you and me $1.03.
That's right. That's right. Got metal and meat together.
Let's go.
Another line of actual dialogue from the movie.
Yeah. So good. Wait, so we're in,
then the robots play Don't Stop Believin', and we get the convoy, right?
Yep.
Road trip to Seattle.
Yeah, why not?
Very fun.
Very fun. Fun for everyone. So then we end up in Seattle where, that's where all the evil headquarters are.
Yep.
And
we're under attack at HQ here, Center HQ.
And this is stuff from the trailer too, but basically the whole plan is the plan is that Herm in his big robot, so he can climb into other like machinery to become bigger.
Right.
And that's important because it's for a moment.
He's got layers.
Yes, he's got layers. Good. And him and Pratt are outside and they're just throwing cars at the building and it's a distraction. So
yep. And all the there's a bunch of other robots too. The only survivors from Blue Sky, basically.
Yeah. So they're just causing a distraction so we can get Michelle and Dr. Robot into the building because he's got all the codes.
Yep.
That's pretty much
so then they do that for a while. Basically, they like you see Herman take some hits and just kind of get smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
As we go here. This like it cuts back inside and outside, like they're just showing her infiltrating the joint and him. You've seen this in
Endgame. You've seen this in the end of Star Wars, where you're bouncing between the two people. Two different things going on here.
Yep.
You're either up in space and you're fighting up there, or you're back on the ground trying to
Yep. Then we get the pivot. Things are going surprisingly well for the robots until Tucci decides to put on the fancy black neurocaster, which is tied to a slightly better drone.
Well, yeah, it's a T1000.
Right.
T1000 of neurocasters.
It's silly. And he turns the tide of the battle, right?
That's right.
And things are looking not so great for our heroes until Marshall comes out, has Mr. Peanut cornered, and they have a little heart-to-heart, right?
Yeah.
About like, hey, isn't Stanley Tucci the bad guy?
Tucci's the bad guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And then Marshall just goes and sits, and he's like, yeah, he's on the second floor. And they're like, okay. And he just sits down. It's like this like old Western. Like he's
Couldn't he helped? Like,
yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. He's like, so, and Mr. Peanut's like, why the change of heart, Marshall? And he's like, I finally met someone less human than a robot. And you're like, is that supposed to be profound?
Yeah. And he's like, it's like Shane or something, an old Western where he just goes and sits down on his rock. It's the Thanos thing. My job here is done. I've snapped everyone out and sun can set.
Yep. And he powers down the drone. Like actually he's like not in the movie anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
I guess we only had him for so long.
So stupid.
What?
And then this is when back inside, Michelle puts on a neurocaster for the first time. And she's like,
right.
What do I do? It's a storm and it's Christmas. And then I go find my brother Chris on the couch. And they have like a heartfelt, whatever, like
moment.
You got it. Yeah, kind of. They're just like, yeah, the things in the world are bad, right? And he's like, yeah, I only saw the bad things in the world because you showed me, because Kid Cosmo and we went around the whole world in the last 2 hours, and like saw all of the bad things. So like, maybe I should just die.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's like like I love how like they explain that he's on life support and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. That
was during the exposition scene with the doctor when they first met him. And as soon as that moment you're like, oh, she's gonna have to unplug him. Like that's gonna be that's the big twist here, right? But he goes through this whole spiel and he's like, I gotta die.
Yeah, and you have to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
She's like, what? Like, why can't you just shut yourself off or something?
Yeah, like
if you're this omnipotent robot,
have your robot buddy, your robot version do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God. So that's a big tense moment though, because she's like, oh, and he's like, do it. And then we got the doctor.
Big tense
he's
moments
like,
all around, because back outside, Herman's taking hits.
Right. Herman's taking hits, and like you said, the battle's changing. The bots are losing.
Yep.
oh no, what's going to happen? They're closing in. We think Herman's dead, right? He's like, I got to power down and sleep for a bit, right?
Yep.
He's dying, right?
Yep.
And then we come back in, and it's very tense. We got red lights. She's going to go unplug them, but she has to push some buttons, not actually unplug them. So,
Yep.
but she does the task though. So
she does the task.
And the bro be dead.
Which he's like, I love how he's like, it's like, you said you'd pull my plug if you had to. I haven't felt anything in 3 years.
Like,
what?
What?
He's like, if this is all the life I get, that's enough. He's like 18.
Yeah.
Not even. She's like 18, right?
Yeah, she was going to college. He was going into college or something. Jesus. So bad. So yeah, it's powered down. They were locked in the room. It's powered down. Tucci is pissed. He's like, no, ultimate power.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. He does kind of turn into like a Dr. Robotnik, like,
yeah,
no.
Palpatine moment, kind of like, yeah, no, this can't be happening. And then we look out.
Mr. Peanut's like, seems like the day is ours. And you're like, what the hell is happening?
Mr. Peanut, can you settle down?
Why are you a main character in this movie?
Yeah.
Planter's ad.
Jesus Christ. So that was the 100 million of the 3. Yeah, so then all the bots power down, and they're like, or the drones power down, and yeah, they've won. And then Keats has a tearful moment with Herm because he thinks he's dead, and he's like, oh man, I love you more than you're my friend. And then Herm's little head pops open. He's got a little smaller version of him. It's like an 8-inch version.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's like a hint of something there. He's like, I love you, Herman, maybe more than a friend.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
What are you guys doing down in the mine there? Man gets lonely in the mines, you know?
Yep. But basically, Herman comes back and he's like, holy shit, did we win?
Yeah.
You're like, yep. God, I hate this movie.
So then, when we get the Tooch, and he's like, what happens now? Do I die? And they're like,
Mr. Peanut's like, no, we live.
Like,
God, I hate this movie.
Yeah,
the dialogue's so bad at the end. I forgot how horribly it's written because they have to wrap it up.
Yeah, and they're just like, yeah, it's so bad. And then Keats finds Michelle, and she had unplugged her bro, and you're like, okay, well, that's that. That's the party.
Yep.
And then we're wrapping up, and then we get news clips like we had in the beginning.
Of exposition. Yeah, exactly. Like, well,
More
the
exposition.
whole world's fucked up now because of this computer problem that
our reliance on technology so much. I got unplugged. Yeah. Well, now this is what happens. So. Yeah,
also, Center was experimenting on a human child. Congress is about to subpoena Stanley Tucci for.
And it's going on, and like you see the Tucci gets arrested by the FBI, which there's no way that's happening.
No one gets brought to justice in real life.
No, not anyone who's got that much money. There's no way.
No, God, no. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. And then we cut to Michelle and Keats together.
Yeah, we're in like the excursion
the excursion zone,
the excruciating zone.
Yep.
And she's making a video explaining everything. Basically, that's
because more exposition. We haven't had enough.
Talking about how Center is bad and casters aren't real life, and she's basically just doing this whole commentary to you, the audience, to us watching, being like. Basically, like, go out and touch some grass and get off your phone, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
It's pretty much.
But it's written so poorly. Like, they're like,
so poorly done.
What would a teenager say? And she's like, I know some of you are freaked out about what me and my friends and what we did here. And you're like, who are you addressing right now?
Yeah, like the world, and that's what you're starting.
The thing Center did was bad for all of us. The war was bad for all of us, all right? And neurocasters help you forget that. But real life is contact. You and me. We're flesh and bone, but also electricity. There's someone near you right now, real and alive, and they need you. And in the background, it's like Oasis playing.
Yeah, the Wonderwall and piano.
Like, why is this happening? We're going to do it together. And then Herman's like, not bad for a meat puppet.
Is that the last line of dialogue in the movie?
That is the last line of dialogue in the movie. That's right.
Not bad for a meat puppet.
Yeah, pretty good for a meat puppet. I
Pretty
think.
good. Pretty good for a meat puppet.
Yep.
And then we cut to like a junkyard. Yeah, but then we cut to like
setup.
a junkyard where we like see bots and stuff getting dropped into like a junkyard, and we see the Cosmo bot. And I was like, are they gonna do the old eye-opening thing and then cut to black? Pretty much.
Sure are.
Sure are. And then it like pans down from him to like a door or something with water, rainwater in it. A dog's licking the water, and all of a sudden you see in the reflection, you see the robot come up. Cut to black. The end.
Yep. And then 14 minutes and 19 seconds of credits. Unbelievable.
That's so long. That's crazy.
Very Russo brothers.
That's 300 million right there. $320 million got you 14-minute credits. Holy shit. Like what?
Terrible movie.
Yeah.
We did it.
We did it. We made it. Jared, Russ.
How do we end it? Yeah.
I think don't stray from the source. We've said this before. We say this all the time. Don't stray.
Adapt the source.
Yes. Don't stray so far from it. Did you like not talk with the author and get like a sense of like what it's supposed to be and the themes and understanding that? Like,
exactly.
Do that. It's called do that. Do research.
I don't know. Maybe like don't put so many stars in it.
Yeah.
We don't need all of these people.
No, because then it's like, then it feels like everyone's got to have their cameo moment to do their exposition and they're off. And it's like, you don't need all that.
Yeah. Everyone's got like a funny line or two. And you're like, don't.
Because then it feels forced because you're like, oh, I have to give them a good line because it's Woody Harrelson, or I have to give them a line because it's the other Woody, or I got to give them a line because it's,
Yeah. Cut that. Cut all that.
Cut all that. Cut all that. And, you can cut the exposition. Don't need it.
Yeah. Yep. Get rid of the narrator.
All the news stuff, like we get what the world we understand what's happening in the world. Like we get it.
Yep. It's set up pretty well,
and you say it through dialogue and through scenes.
Yep.
Cut all that. Right.
Yep.
Make this movie an hour and 45 minutes max.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. At max, hour and a half. You could do this in an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Sure. Let's go.
Yeah. Maybe like don't like decide, is it going to be a kid's movie or an adult movie? Because then you could do more in either direction. Like if it's a kid's movie, make it more fun. And if it's not, then like go darker. Like
let's go dark. Let's go. Let's talk about the perils of technology.
Right. Everything's very surface level criticism of like, it's like, oh, there's a message, but is like kind of. Yeah. It's really watered down.
Yeah. 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 And it's kind of a weird thing to be like, you're telling the story of like, basically go out, and maybe that's the whole point, but you're distributing this through Netflix, who basically wants to be inside of our brains. So.
Yep.
Are you telling me to stop watching Netflix? Because I will, but.
No, you won't.
I won't. It's here, even with the ads.
Yeah. Like, there's just so much wrong with it. Don't spend $300 million on this movie.
No.
Doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it. Give us $1 million for us.
Yeah. I think a little practical effects would have went a long way too. Like,
I mean, it looked great. It looked visually great, but
it looked really good, but like make a couple of the models like real. Cause I feel like, I think Millie Bobby Brown is getting some unfair hate for her like big screen, calling this big screen, like full feature length roles. Cause she's like not that great of an actor, maybe, but it's also like, maybe she could be if she wasn't working, alongside like nothing.
Yeah.
Like if you gave her something to interact with, maybe she would have done a better job.
Right. Yeah. That helps. That helps the experience. Yeah.
Right. Chris Pratt's pretty good at it at this point from all the Avengers and everything, but
I
don't know.
Make something real,
Yeah.
300 million. Jesus.
300 million.
Wow. 300 million.
That's unfathomable amount of money. Like,
I know. And for Netflix, what are you doing?
Yep. Love it. I think that's it for me.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Yeah, broad strokes. Cut this exposition. Cut this down. You know.
Yep.
Don't stray from the source material. The end. We're going to pull the plug on this one?
I think that's what you said in the last one.
Oh, no, I did. Damn it.
Oh, it's the obvious one.
Yeah, it's the obvious one. All right.
Ready to kill this little kid?
Yeah, I get ready to be a deer in the middle of the road. Too soon. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Stay away from the deers. We'll be back next week with a new movie and a trailer trash. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. Subscribe wherever you're listening to podcasts. Set us to auto download, and if you like it, share it with a robot friend.
Yeah.
Have them auto download it.
Please. More bots, more better.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Or share it with a robot enemy. Leave a review on, Apple. Like, they're coming for us at some point, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But in the meantime, you can put 5 stars there and maybe a nice little comment. We wouldn't hate that. Or you want to send us long comments? You've got a lot of thoughts and feelings about what we just said and did? Great. Send us an email. We'll read it in trailer trash. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or you don't want to do any of that stuff. You just want to you're more of a passive consumer, very Wall-E-esque, like this movie's going for.
Yeah.
Just go to the website. We have that too. It's thismeetsthat.com, where you can find merch. There's t-shirts and tapestries galore. No information about Russ's book Host, which is available wherever you buy books. So just search Russ Cabasso Host and you'll find it.
Yeah.
Forgot everything I just said? Go to the website. It's thismeetsthat.com. Check it out, please.